Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday, April 25th. This is the Crap Factor, and I'm your host, Dr. Hate. I am not a phallic symbol for Rupert Murdoch. Okay, in tonight's Chew the Fat segment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about illegal immigration. Illegal immigration is a volatile subject in America today, with the majority of the blame being placed on hard-working Mexican families, and I believe this is simply misguided anger. We're seeing the face of our country and the towns we grew up in change in front of our very eyes. The parks and local communities are filling up with small, light brown-skinned folks swinging sticks at piñatas and playing basketball. Good-paying factory jobs are being replaced with poor-paying factory jobs that most people cannot afford to hold and expect to make ends meet. Illegals are driving around without driver's licenses or insurance. County courts, welcome centers, public programs like WIC, and public schools are being forced to hire interpreters at our expense. American-born school children are expected to learn Spanish at home with Dora as well as at school. English signage all over the country is being replaced with the English-Spanish combination signage. The average American who speaks out against the invasion is called a xenophobe and a hater. They say we are a nation of laws, but the laws don't apply to the illegal immigrants. Sanctuary cities give them cute-sounding names like undocumented workers, and that's like calling a bank robbery an unauthorized withdrawal. They build small parks for them with restrooms and picnic tables so they're comfortable while they wait for American licensed contractors to pull over, load their trucks up with as many as they need so they can charge the consumer premium prices for unskilled slave labor. Their prices don't go down because the labor's cheaper, ladies and gentlemen. Their profit margin goes up. Most of us know this, don't we? But are Americans aware that this is not an accident at all? Isn't it true that the small businesses in this country, as well as the corporations, have always been hailed as the backbone of America? Who do you think is hiring these people? It's your American small business owners and corporations. Why in the hell are we placing all the blame on 150-pound little hard-working brown guys who want to buy groceries for their families, nice things for their wives, and bicycles for their children? Does this make them our enemies because they desire a decent way of life for themselves and their loved ones? Do you think maybe it's time we give credit where credit is due? American companies are hiring these folks, ladies and gentlemen, because they want to increase their profits and take advantage of the illegal status, while overweight, iPod-toting spoiled white kids are dragging their sorry butts around job sites doing as much as they can to get out of work. The little brown guys working them into the ground without complaint. Who would you hire? Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and John McCain are all pandering for the illegal vote, so it should be obvious they're not interested in changing a thing. What they're interested in is preserving their power base so they can continue to live with the millions like the rest of the small businesses and corporations, while the rest of us fight over the crumbs. Now, I don't mean to go at all small businesses. A lot of folks are working hard to earn just enough to get by. However, you know who I'm talking to. In tonight's Good News segment, ladies and gentlemen, this is a touching story. I wonder if this individual was an immigrant. Chances are he was, because he was a taxi driver. A violinist reunited with $4 million Stradivarius was left in the back of a New Jersey cab. A Newark cabbie was honored yesterday by the mayor with a special medallion for reuniting a touring musician with his $4 million violin after it was mistakenly left in the back seat of a taxi. When the Stradivarius stringed instrument finally was returned to him, Philippe Quint fell to his knees and cried. I can see why. If today's your birthday, ladies and gentlemen, April 25th, 2008, you're a Taurus, and that's no bull. 2008 will be a number 3 year for you, ruled by Jupiter. This is a year of sociability. It's a friendly time when it's easy to enjoy life and other people. Focus is on personal freedom, reaching out to others, making new friends, and exploration. You're more enthusiastic and ready for adventure. It's likely to be a rather lighthearted year, when opportunities for playtime are greater than usual. It's also a good year for expressing your creativity. Advice? Reach out, but avoid scattering your energies. In tonight's Food for Thought segment, ladies and gentlemen, I have a piece called If I Was a Terrorist by James Pence. I look forward to your opinions and your thoughts on this one. If I was a terrorist and wanted to destroy the American way of life, I wouldn't use planes and bombs to kill folks. That's too risky. You might get caught or killed, or both. Real terrorists get results, and then they lay the blame where it can't be found. So here's what I would do if I was a terrorist. I'd foreclose on millions of homes, kick folks out of their houses. I'd devalue the dollar so the price of everything would go up. I would outsource their jobs so they couldn't find work. I'd move the factories to foreign countries, all the good-paying factory jobs. I'd make education unaffordable. Terrorists don't like having educated people around. I'd make healthcare difficult to get and let the insurance companies get away with murder. I'd listen to their telephone calls, monitor their emails, and use that information to really stick it to them. Then I would give myself a big old tax cut, sit back in luxury, and watch them fight over the crumbs. But you know what? We live in the United States of America. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. And the people who represent us would never let them get away with that, would they? Would they? That's tonight's Crap Factor, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to your opinions. Please leave your name and your town. Send your emails to dochate@hotmail.com. The Crap Factor, as always, is sponsored by www.hatecards.net, where we encourage you to lash out rationally. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Good night.